Statement, and I give the floor now to the representative of the Russian Federation.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. At the outset, like other colleagues, I wish to extend condolences to the people and government of the DRC in the wake of the train crash in the Kasai province, as well as to African states who have suffered due to the cyclone Idai. We also lament the fact that there were victims in Indonesia. We wish a speedy recovery to the wounded and to the victims. Mr. President, we are grateful to the Secretary General's Special Representative, Madam Leila Zerugi, for her detailed briefing about the overall situation in the DRC and the work of the United Nations representatives in that state. We also listened attentively to the statement delivered by Madam Ani Tenga Modi. We regard what was held following repeated delays, namely the presidential election. We regard this as a watershed in the DRC's political landscape. For the first time in the country's history, that country's citizens were able to democratically achieve a handover of government. The reins of power were passed to the unarmed opposition operating within the legal framework. We drew attention to the fact that the long-awaited elections occurred amid calm, and they were unmarred by major breaches of public order. We welcome the fact that in the fraught post-electoral period, all Congolese political forces have embraced exclusively peaceful methods of political engagement. We urge the Congolese to continue to seek to advance peace and to adopt measures to forestall any and all forms of violence. We are troubled at the fact that in eastern provinces of the country, the military political situation remains complicated. Illegal armed groups, including the so-called Allied Democratic Forces, continue to mount attacks. The situation is further compounded by escalation in intercommunal clashes, as well as by the ongoing Ebola epidemic, which continues to rage in the Beni region. We cherish the hope that the struggle against armed groups will bring about the necessary results. It is important also to seek to achieve qualitative progress in disarmament, demobilization, and social reintegration of ex-combatants. In this connection, we note that there have been indicators about a willingness to lay down weapons. These have emanated from groups in Kasai province. We also note the disarmament process, which is making progress in Ituri and Tanganyika provinces. We join the Secretary General's call to keep the window of opportunity there open. Further, we anticipate of the country's authorities that they also stamp out the illicit exploitation and export of minerals. Mr. President, we believe that the United Nations Stabilization Mission in the DRC needs to continue to support the country in its efforts to normalize the situation there in the post-electoral period. And we note the constructive approach in conjunction with the Blue Helmets that has been voiced by the country's new president, Mr. Felix Tshisekedi. At the same time, we wish to emphasize that intervention in Kinshasa's domestic affairs, regardless of by whom, is not acceptable. For our part, we stand ready to work constructively on a draft Security Council resolution for the extension of the mandate of the United Nations Stabilization Mission in the DRC. The Russian Federation, inter alia, as a participant in the group of friends of the Great Lakes region, intends to continue to proactively facilitate the peace process in the DRC, as well as stabilization of the situation in the Great Lakes region as a whole. Thank you. I thank the representative of the Russian Federation for his statement.